Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. We are in episode 90, and well, oh my God, what has happened since episode 89? What is happening? What is this? I mean, we were so comfy. We thought that the things, in the Russia-Ukraine war were about to be, the ceasefire. Everything was going to be great. The United States was going to get all the rare earth metals and minerals and stuff to create those awesome AI chips to make memes, more memes, all the memes, because that's what we had. And all of a sudden, we are at the gates of World War III. That has been crazy 40 more than 48 hours. Let's say 48 hours. Crazy 48 hours. Wait a second, somebody is I need to repose a couple of things here. Crazy 48 hours, and today, well, I'm going to do not only a recap of my most massive analysis ever, but also I will be talking about a couple of things that are happening as we speak. So, first of all, easy, we are live through YouTube, Rumble, and on X. Also, this episode will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM, everywhere that you get your podcasts. And the best way to support my channel and my videos is to like and subscribe. It's that easy. I don't ask of you anything else. It's that easy. Just like and subscribe. Only that. You can also send super chats and super stickers. The super chats will be great because maybe I will read them most likely at the end of the show, but they might spark conversations to keep the show going. I'm thinking of making more body language analysis. I'm going to talk about my body language analysis in a minute. And remember also that you can download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video, and you will be subscribed to my awesome emails, and we could have that as a means of communication. You can send me emails. You can find me on X, follow me on X, and also tag me there or send me direct messages. So we're ready to begin. But before, we need to address the heart and soul of this show, which is the live chat. Your live chat, I keep an eye on your comments, all your comments, all of them. Wonderful comments. My software is doing crazy things, but okay, we're moving forward. All your comments, I will be keeping an eye on them. So if you have any wonderful comments that are pertinent to what we are saying, we will go for it. But let's get this party started, and we need to address a couple of things. Yes, I made a 1 hour 45-minute body language and statement analysis of the complete meltdown of both Zelensky and Donald Trump at the White House, and J.D. Vance was also there. And well, I'm worried that I left out Marco Rubio. I was not fair. I left out, the way Marco Rubio. I'm going to talk about him in a while. But it was massive. This analysis was massive. Is an understatement. I will be making more analysis such as this. And you remember, if you're following me on X, that I asked you on Friday, do you want the Keir Starmer analysis or the Volodymyr Zelensky analysis? And by the way, when I asked that question, I was not aware of the total meltdown of this, so it was obvious that I had to go with the Zelensky one, which has brought us closer to World War III. So I might suggest, that this is not to say that I'm going to set up a GoFundMe or something like that, but you know that I was shopping here for abandoned missile silos for sale. You know that we could, since we are body language bodies, we are the common sense crusaders, we might think of buying one of this stuff. It's basically yeah, missile silo in New Mexico that is abandoned. It's for sale. Maybe we could buy this, refurbish it, go to IKEA, buy some, furniture, and well, it's completely occupied with also, I don't know how many inch blast doors, but it seems that they will come in handy. So at some point we might have to consider like do some kind of investment on this. Let me see the photos of the stairwell. It looks well, maybe a coat of paint could work. We could be sewer, sump, discharge, line, and vent. Oh, well, we can blast valve opening. Oh, this looks nice to play every now and then. So we literally could buy one of this. Could absolutely buy this stuff. Let me see another shot of the blast doors. Again, they look nice. Just a coat of paint here and there, and this will be ready for moving in. Most probably entrapment area. That would. What is an entrapment area? I really don't want to. Utility tunnel. Oh yeah, utility tunnel. We could watch movies in here. Netflix and stuff. If Netflix still exists after World War III, but no, it's just for your consideration, right? We need to be bunker bodies. Yeah, it's a. Well, that is not the word that I use. Man, that is not the word. Like bodies, as in my body. No, not that body. But I get your message. I get your point. Near air conditioning, yeah. We would need air conditioning and heavy air filters and radioactive filters and everything filter, like even nonsense filter. Yes. So this was worse than I thought. And I'm going to do a brief, I'm going to do a brief summary of what happened at the White House. Because the thing is that most people just watch the last 10 minutes of this exchange. And of course, that's what I told you on my analysis. That cannot give you a real idea of what happened. What really happened is that Zelensky was going to sign this agreement, this ceasefire. He was going to sign his side of the ceasefire. We assume that Donald Trump had already spoken to Putin, and Putin had, kind of agreed to his side of the ceasefire. And one of the, or two of the, the fine print of the ceasefire is that the rare earth minerals and metals of Ukraine, half of them were going to the United States in payback for all the aid that Biden had given Ukraine these years. And one very important, the most important thing is that the security guarantees after the ceasefire was going to, fall on Europe and the UK, not on the United States. It's like it was very clear. The United States was not going to give any security guarantees. The United States was going to give the security in terms of, we're going to have our people right there, drilling and doing the stuff. So you have security by that, but we are not going to give you, more weaponry or be in charge of the security or be in charge of making Putin really obey whatever he is going to do. But Trump was very clear about this. Like Putin had broken all kind of ceasefires and documents and signings, but not when Trump was in charge. So Trump had a point. So you can imagine that if Zelensky was at the White House to sign that document, is because he was, willing to sign that document. Why would you go to the White House otherwise? But what we saw right from the beginning, from the first 15 seconds, not even 15 minutes, 15 seconds of Zelensky opening his mouth, was to say the words that he wished that the United States was part of that security guarantee. And that was his motive over and over again. And when Donald Trump tried to be polite many times, assuring him, don't worry about that, we're gonna do this. We're gonna work this out. So most important thing is to sign the deal. Most important thing is to stop people from killing each other. That is okay. Let's do this. Let's sign the deal, and then we can will work out the security stuff. And as he said, exasperated at the end, when a journalist was pressuring him, well, what if Putin breaks the ceasefire? But okay, but we haven't even signed the ceasefire. We haven't even signed it. Like the first step is signing it. But it is obvious from Zelensky's body language every time, 4 times, I counted 4, maybe it was more, and the 4 times in 49 minutes, that every time Donald Trump mentioned the words, we're going to end this war, we're going to finish this war, we're going to end this, every single time, Zelensky had this bad body language reaction, like he didn't want the war to end. It was like this knee-jerk reaction. It was very uncomfortable to watch, very odd to watch, especially because at the beginning he was mostly okay, and then he went, well, you saw. He literally, by the way, some people are saying, Jesus, have you thought that maybe something was lost in translation, that maybe he should have spoken in Ukrainian and have a translator, and maybe he doesn't have this, this command of the English language? I said, well, that is a possibility, of course. That is always a possibility, and that is one of the reasons why, for example, Putin, who can speak in English, he makes sure to speak in Russian all the time. So he makes sure that his country doesn't misinterpret his. So there's no misinterpretation, that he speaks in his mother tongue. That's an approach. But there are 2 words or 3 words that Zelensky said when he was replying to J.D. Vance that were, what diplomacy are you talking about? I mean, that is no way to take that out of context. He had spent 40 minutes. Zelensky had spent 40 minutes making sure to everybody in that room to understand that he didn't really care about diplomacy, he didn't care about the ceasefire, or he didn't think that this ceasefire was going to be enough. When the ceasefire was already drafted, or when he had already rejected to sign it twice, this was the 3rd time, we thought 3 is a charm, but it didn't happen. But those words, what diplomacy are you talking about? And that's when J.D. Vance had to intervene. Oh, he himself answered and said, well, the diplomacy of the country that wants to save your people. And you should be a bit grateful for this. And that was another thing that Donald Trump 3 times made it very clear. I am not on the side of anybody. The United States is not on the side of anybody. The United States is in the side of the world. The United States is in the side of peace. We are not on the side of Ukraine. We are not on the side of Russia. Please stop saying that we are on either side. And as soon as he said that, then Zelensky made sure twice to contradict him. Oh, we want the United States. Or he bluntly said, the United States is on our side. And then Trump had to say that again. Hey, all right, slight tap on the back. Hey, we are just mediators. We are on nobody's side. We don't want anything to do with that. We have spent way too much money on this. So many people are calling out to me, oh, Jesus, you are on Putin's side. You are against Zelensky. You don't want, you want the Ukrainians to suffer. I think that 2 things can be true at the same time. It is more than obvious that you cannot trust Putin in many ways. But also, Trump has a point. Putin hasn't FAFO with Trump when Trump has been in office. So Trump has that for him. Putin is, let's say a villain. He's typical supervillain. In this case, is real life villain. Why would we trust anything that he's doing? But Trump knows that the first step was at least the ceasefire. Okay, what is the other option? To keep killing each other? Where the other option would be to sign the ceasefire, and if Putin breaks the ceasefire, then we go back to square one. But at least we try to do something about that. And the other thing is that Zelensky, obviously, and that's why I encourage you to watch my 1 hour and 45 minutes analysis. It was obvious, both from a statement analysis perspective and a body language perspective, that he entered the Oval Office in bad faith. He was there with an agenda. Absolutely not sign that treaty, which, by the way, we're gonna find out that he had already signed rare earth metals and minerals with the UK. You're gonna find out in a minute. And he wanted to strong arm Trump in front of the cameras. Not a good plan. And I said that on my analysis. But again, you have your opinion. I'm sure that the live chat, I don't know how the live chat is right now. I'm not keeping an eye on your comments. I will keep an eye on your comments. If you want to send a comment, you send a super chat and I will make sure to read it aloud. But the thing is that if you are in bad faith, obviously, both from not only your body language, which, by the way, I made it very clear, J.D. Vance had Zelensky all the time on his sides. Donald Trump was a bit harder for him because of the angle. J.D. Vance knew what was going on, and that's why J.D. Vance tried to be polite. Sir, you're talking about administrations like Obama and Biden that tried these things and did not work. We're gonna try something different. I'm just saying that we're gonna try something different, and that's when Zelensky went unhinged. But again, you know that Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. I am not saying that Trump is perfect in any way. I haven't never said that. But in this exchange of Zelensky and Trump at the Oval Office with J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio that was there as well, you can see that Zelensky was not going to sign anything. He was not willing to sign anything. It was in completely bad faith. And so many of you have reached out to me telling me, I watched the whole thing. I noticed that so many things were off, but thanks to your analysis, then I could understand better what was going on. And that's something that I want to tell you. By the way, I noticed that you want more body language analysis, and one of the things that was very different this time is that I've never done such a long body language analysis. The longest one that I have done like this was, imagine, Kamala's first CNN interview, and that video, that Kamala video, was 18 minutes long, and my analysis was like 40 minutes long. So my analysis was like 45 minutes, and this was 1 hour and 45 minutes. So again, I noticed by the numbers that you really liked me taking my time to do this kind of stuff, something that really worried me at the start of my Body Language Guy channel. Then I realized, well, I have to do more analysis like this. And by the way, if I told you, maybe I'm going to either decide between Keir Starmer or Zelensky, well, I'm going to give the encounter between Trump and Keir Starmer with the benefit of hindsight, of course, because now we know that both Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron were at the Oval Office to, sugarcoat whatever was Zelensky about to do. Oh, yeah, you should. They with the benefit of hindsight, it's going to be much more interesting. It's going to be fascinating. So I will do maybe not only Keir Starmer, but also Emmanuel Macron, so we can spot body language cues, statements, and reactions when they brought, of course, the Russia-Ukraine war. Again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. So, yes, it was a set-up spicy dame. It was a set-up in so many ways. And I've tried to be really fair. I remember that I was doing that analysis and I said, Well, let's try. What do I do? No, I need to know where this comes from, because again, I've always, oh, I don't think that people are gonna watch a 40-minute or 1 hour analysis, and this is 50 minutes. This is 50 minutes. The analysis usually double at least the time of the original footage. This analysis is going to be 2 hours? Nobody's going to watch that. Well, I was wrong. Yeah, you absolutely watched that, and some of you watched that twice. You have reached out to me, so I'm really flattered. So, yeah, I'm more of those analyses are coming. But now we have this, and one thing that has happened. This is like really fresh. Hours ago, Trump considers ending Ukraine aid in policy meeting. So, all right, this is all the way. We're going to be exploring some of these topics today. President Donald Trump is scheduled to meet with his top national security aides on March 3rd, today, 2025, to discuss the potential suspension or complete cancellation of U.S. military aid to Ukraine. This meeting includes advisors like Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, and comes amid reports of a possible shift in U.S. foreign policy towards America First approach. And what does it mean for the rest of the world? What does it mean for Europe? Well, for Europe, oh man, for Europe, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Yeah, this I need to go back to the Marco Rubio. You can imagine all the hours that Marco Rubio and his team spent, like, getting this deal done, like all the logistics, setting everything, like the negotiation, the back and forth, the 2 times that Zelensky rejected this, and you can understand his body language. Like, this guy wanted to just stand up and hit Zelensky with a closed fist. I can understand that. I can understand that completely. Yes. God, this is something that is so outrageous. And what else? One thing that, of course, we missed. I didn't analyze, since the Oval Office interaction was so massive, is that I did not analyze the first encounter, when Zelensky arrives. And there are rumors, only rumors. Oh, yeah, Veronica, yes, Jesus' latest news updates on the Ukrainian news that Zelensky is ready now to sign. But Veronica, I have that same thing, like in the last 10 hours. In the last 10 hours, I've seen reports that no, Zelensky is not going to sign. Yes, he's ready to sign. No, he's not going to sign. Yes, he's ready to sign. You know what? Send the effing documents via FedEx. Send the documents via FedEx, and tell him to just include them, and the return envelope. Add a return envelope, because we know that this guy is very cheap. Zelensky. And if he wants to sign the documents, then he can sign them at home. And maybe he can ask for a Vogue photo shoot while he signs, to pose with a pen, and send him a pen from the White House inside the envelope so he can sign it in style. But don't invite him anymore to the White House. So President Trump greets President Zelensky at the White House, and there are rumors that say that Trump was not pleased on Zelensky. Well, being Zelensky is not having a suit. Why, man? Why? Why would you do that? Yes, Sephora K9 or DocuSign works like a charm as well. Yes, just send an email, and that's it. And well, see that Zelensky was, really intimidated by Trump. You see that the first gesture is putting both of his hands on his hips, all right, and his feet where he was walking. One thing is Trump was standing there. Another thing is Zelensky was arriving, but his body language is completely terrified. Completely terrified. All right, so let's see this frame by frame. Let's go back a bit. All right, and Trump begins to joke about, oh, he's all dressed up. He said this a couple times. Offers his hand. Zelensky shakes his hand, tap on the shoulder. Okay. There's nice body language from both men. Again, who could have imagined what was about to happen? And he said he's all dressed. I'm gonna play this so you can listen. Trump's words. He said is loud and clear.
He's all dressed up today.
He's all dressed up today. He's all dressed up today. There are rumors that say that Trump was not pleased that the guy was not wearing a suit. I don't know. Really, there's no way to confirm that. But at least my impression is that Zelensky did not take that to heart when he said, I say that I see a neutral facial expression. Nothing out of the sort. Again, I mean, we saw. I told you in the analysis that the first part of the Oval Office, the first 5 minutes when Trump was speaking, was are sneakers. Those are sneakers. I man. Zelensky was wearing sneakers. There's the shot, so you can. Yeah, it's. Oh my God! Why? But he's at war. He's at war. That is the thing. So Trump really tried to lighten the mood, as Veronica is saying, but we already know what happened in there. And some part of the things that we missed is that, well, Trump's words, I didn't share this with you, a statement from President Donald J. Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. So imagine after what happened, Trump still made sure to be, at least, polite. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. Great TV. It was great TV in the end. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. Zelensky said that himself. Like, America has to be on the side of Ukraine. America has to be in the side of Ukraine. And Trump was, hey man, pump the brakes, kid. Pump the brakes, kid. No. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Yeah. Even Donald Trump said he can come back when he is ready for peace. Again, reports like this. U.S. State Department terminates U.S. support for Ukraine energy grid restoration. This is one of the crazy things that happened after this. And we also have, something that you need to realize. You need to realize that there will be signs when the manure hits the fan. And in this case, the manure 100% hit the fan. You know that Zelensky F up bad because even Lindsey Graham is lashing out at him. That's when you think that things went really wrong. Well, thanks to Zelensky himself. Let's watch this with captions, of course. This is from recorded from a TV set.
Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top.
Yeah, when you have lost Lindsey Graham, well, you have lost everything. This is something, before we move on, I need to share with you something that I wrote on my X account. It's faulty reasoning assuming conflicts that combine both civilians and their governments is as simple as good versus evil. Because this was Councilwoman Ina Vernikov said, understanding the difference between good versus evil, victim versus aggressor, ally versus foe should not be difficult. Sometimes it's difficult, Ina, and I'm going to explain why. Nuance aside, standing with the former should never be controversial. Need to correct you on that. We are talking about civilians and their governments. This is important. The people of a country could be suffering the consequences of their leaders' reckless and sometimes malicious behavior. I know that all too well. That's why pushing slogans like I stand with insert country name here weaponizes the suffering of that country's people in favor of the ones in charge. What do I mean by this? If you say I stand with Ukraine, you're giving a blanket statement to everything. Both the people who are suffering, they are suffering. Yes, we want that too. We want that war to end. We want innocent people not to die and live in peace. But at the same time, you are addressing the leader of the country. That is important. That is always as important. And sometimes, the interests of both, let's say, parts or parties, in this case, the people and the leaders, are, well, not aligned. Or maybe the what is best for the people is not in the leader's best interest. So we are allowed to criticize the leader, in this case, Zelensky. And so many people have reached out to me. Oh, I cannot believe you are criticizing Zelensky. Don't you want the Ukrainians to be in peace? The same thing happens for me in Venezuela. I told you that I was not gonna address the Venezuela topic again, but it's exactly the same thing. You cannot say, I stand with Venezuela. No, because then you will be standing with the people. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. But you will be giving Nicolas Maduro a blank check with your blanket, your umbrella statement. That's it's not something that is it's not black or white in that regard. And so many countries, it's like saying, oh, every single German is stupid for having voted for these people. No, because so many Germans wanted a change. That is an example. For example, that's an example. And today it was another terror attack in Germany. That I'm not going to talk about that because, well, right now, it's impressive that even terror attacks in Germany have become are right now have to be taken out like a step back to this. So pushing slogans like "I stand with country" weaponizes the suffering of that country's people in favor of the ones in charge via blanket statement. That is propaganda. Two things can be true at the same time. People of a country could be suffering while their leaders are dickheads. Venezuela, still one of the best examples. So that's something that we need to be clear about this before we move on. And now the European Union is hosting an emergency summit. This was yesterday. The European Union is hosting an emergency summit in London after Zelensky botched the meeting with President Trump. And well, again, this is the kind of things. Europe, what is going on? And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. I'm going to tell you what is the problem here. The issue here And I said that at the end. If you haven't watched my analysis, I'm gonna kind of spoil the conclusions. I made sure to divide the analysis in chapters so you can follow chapter by chapter and go to the chapter that you want to listen to. That after that event, all these people began tweeting the exact same support for Ukraine, like simultaneously, almost simultaneously. And Zelensky was thanking him. He was in this Twitter spree, thanking them, like, immediately. As in, this was some kind of, set up from the European Union to keep the Russia-Ukraine war going. And I'm gonna say it live. I say that on that video. I'm gonna tell you. And today's attack in Germany, terror attack in Germany, makes it, I would say, an example of what I'm gonna say. I mean, these people have effed up their countries so badly, beyond recognition, with their unfettered immigration, with their, their attacks on free speech, their terror on the locals in favor of the abroadians. They have made sure to inject chaos in their countries. I don't want to generalize because Meloni was here as well. And Meloni said, to be fair, Meloni was the only one who said, we need to understand that we cannot allow the Russia-Ukraine conflict to divide the Western world. This is dividing us in a way that is unnecessary. And that division happened at the Oval Office on Friday. That's what happened. We saw that division in real time. So Giorgia Meloni from Italy, she's the one. She's got her head in the right place. It was a bit heartbreaking for me. I shouldn't have favorites, but it was, oh my God, what are you doing there? But she made sure to set the record straight. She doesn't agree that Europe can do this alone without the United States. And they should go with the United States terms. Maybe she didn't say that, but that should be the way to go. Because what is the other option? The other option is the other option is this. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna jump to, hey, midget. We're gonna jump to this. Breaking. Macron says Europe may decide to provide Ukraine with hundreds of billions in euros at its emergency meeting on Ukraine on March the 6th. Hundreds of billions of euros. That makes sense. I'm gonna tell you, that makes sense from which point. That makes sense because these people have destroyed their countries, and these people have all their populations against them. They need some kind of united front. Oh, we need something outside of our countries. How you dare complain about the rapes and murders and terror attacks in our country on the streets? That's nothing compared with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. That is the way that's the thing that they are approaching. That is the best way to distract from the chaos that they themselves have created. And for example, the UK, Keir Starmer, he has had how much time? I don't know, 8 months. Has had all the time to fix whatever both parties have done. No, he made it worse. He has made it worse in so many ways. So yes, let's say how can we control the population? I'll tell them, as like they are saying, that Ukraine is the new COVID. Ukraine is the new COVID. You have to stand for Ukraine, for all Ukraine, including Zelensky, even if the guy is an unhinged cokehead. You have to stand for Zelensky, no matter what. It's that simple. It's a distraction. They absolutely need that distraction. Wonderful picture. Europe united. Oh, like Avengers assemble, all that stuff. That is the optics that they're going for. That's the optics that they are going for. They want to make it seem like the EU and the UK are a mess right now. And they have been a mess for months. And why are they so desperate right now? I'm going to tell you why are they so desperate right now. Because since Donald Trump has been in office, Donald Trump in 30 days, with some hiccups, maybe we'll be talking about Pam Bondi and Kash Patel in a while. Donald Trump is essentially making Europe, all of Europe and the UK, look bad. This is that simple. It's that simple. Again, I am not a Trump psychopath. I'm just telling you the facts. Compared to what Donald Trump has been doing, only one thing, the easiest thing in this 35 days of Trump mandate is getting men out of women's sports. And all these libtards are doing the exact opposite. They are doubling down on men in women's sports, spaces, everything. That's all what has been happening. The world is noticing. The world is realizing. It's like when the debate between Kamala and Trump. I remember that the debate because Trump told Kamala that you did not need a bill to control the border. You could sign that yourself. And everybody said, "Oh no, you absolutely need a bill. You cannot do that. The president cannot do that." What did Trump do? What happened with the border, with the southern border, or with the border with Canada as well? What happened with the deportations? What happened with everything? Overnight, right? Overnight, people are self-deporting. ICE is working over. Has been like 95 drop in crossings. So did Trump need a bill? No. Did Biden and Kamala need a bill? No. So people are waking up that Biden and Kamala Harris were, well, the traitors, the scum that they still are, and Trump was right. So Trump is making Biden and Harris look really bad. How do you explain that as a Democrat? You can't. How do you explain that as somebody who lives in Germany or in the UK? What's going on in the United States? I want that. I want that freedom. I want some of that for myself. And then that's why the European leaders are saying we need something. We are willing to go full War III. And if you don't believe me, remember what happened with the German elections. The CDU purposefully and literally lied to the public, saying that they were going to close the borders. And after they won, this guy, I don't remember his name, he comes out and says, "Hey, you know what? No, we really never said that." Spoiler alert. Yeah, he 100% said that. And he just walked that back. Get wrecked, Germans. It's that simple. That's what's going on with Europe. That's why they are using Zelensky for that. Oh, we need to rally behind Ukraine in some way or another. But guess what? Europe doesn't have the firepower. Europe doesn't have the money. Where are you getting those hundreds of billions from, Macron? I would like to know. Maybe you can tap into the Russian frozen assets, 300 billion. Maybe that's what you can do. And by the way, when we have another video here, another video I want to show you. Meanwhile, I need to mention that a Ukrainian drone swarm has hit the oil refinery in Ufa, Russia. It's more than 800 miles, like 1,300 kilometers from the front lines. So I don't know if this is escalation. But I don't think this looks good. I mean, what was my issue? I don't see the problem. What was the problem with the ceasefire? Oh, that Putin was not going to respect the ceasefire. With Trump, he did. Back then. With Trump, he did. And I'm going to play this video so we can see things more in context. Holy shit. UK Prime Minister Starmer proposes a new plan for Ukraine and wants Europe to up their economic spending, and says, I hope that economic spending, something happened. I hope that they are not like hackers or something trying to hack me. Europe to up the economic spending, and says the UK are prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. It's about to become clear to the world that NATO are the ones pushing for World War III. Let's listen to the Starmer, the two-tier kier himself. Okay, are you seeing me? Just in case, see, workspace. And with statistics, just make sure. There was a drop, right? There was a drop. Okay, yeah, please refresh your browser if you're seeing something wacky. Yeah, my connection dropped. All right, so let's watch this.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back.
Yeah, no, not every nation will be able to contribute. Yeah, it depends. Please flip your pockets. Gentlemen, flip your pockets.
Instead, those
empty your pockets is a word.
Will intensify planning now with real.
Okay, I have issues again for some reason. Wait a second. I'm going to make sure just in case. All right, so some errors here with the network. For some reason, let me wait a second, see if it fixes. If you see that something is going wrong, refresh, reload. Okay, I'm gonna wait a second until this fixes. If you see the screen wacky right now, so refresh. Something on my end. Yeah, I don't think that is being attacked, but yeah, I don't know what being freeze. What I did was to kill the streaming on Rumble and on X and leave on YouTube. Yeah, so it's only we're streaming only through YouTube right now for reasons. So let's see if the bandwidth keeps up. Just make sure. Should be working now. Okay, let's continue.
The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air, together with others. Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace,
he said that Europe must do the heavy lifting
in our continent, and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing.
This must have strong US backing. Yeah, because the US is the one putting the actual money, the actual dosh. Wait a second. The United States is the one with the actual dosh. That's why they are saying
We're
this.
working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today.
Totally.
This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.
Well, I want to ask a question. I just want to ask a question. Why didn't all this happen while Biden was in office? They had like 3 years for this, right? Are they realizing right now that Europe must step up? Are they realizing now that something has to be done? Why didn't this happen, I don't know, like 6 months into the Russia-Ukraine war? Do you think that is a bit suspicious? I don't know if I'm being too naive with this question, but I'm realizing, why does Europe has to step up right now, right after Trump became the president of the United States and made sure to end the Russia-Ukraine war? Why now? It's a bit odd timing, right? Don't you tell me it's not at least a bit odd. And there's another video, a more recent video of the Starmer. Let me generate the subtitles. Make sure you have subtitles. I cannot help but think that yes, these people have been exposed in all their griefs. They're looking really bad. It's like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance called Keir Starmer to his face regarding free speech, because Starmer had the gall to say in front of the cameras that there was free speech in the United Kingdom. The same free speech that puts people in jail for Facebook posts, and which essentially is like the joke that somebody made the other day, is that you can punch somebody on the street and you get no jail. You tweet about punching somebody on the street, you go to jail. That is basically the UK right now. Thank you, Jenny, for sending me this one. Here's the Starmer talking about the benefits of selling military equipment to Ukraine. Bernie Artemis for now. Wait, what? Has the Starmer just decided war is good for Britain's economy? All right, let's watch this.
We see clearly before us the test of our times, a crossroads in our history. So with permission, Mr. Speaker, I'll update the House or my efforts to secure a strong, just and lasting peace following Russia's vile invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Speaker, it begins in this House, where on Tuesday I announced the biggest sustained increase in defence spending since the Cold War.
On Tuesday, well, you know what it means. You have to shell more of their tax pounds for the Ukraine war.
A recognition of the fact that once again we live in an era where peace in Europe depends upon strength and deterrence, but also a rediscovery of the old post-war argument, long held on these benches, that economic security is national security. Yeah. Because, Mr. Speaker, the demands we now have to make of Britain must come alongside a new foundation of security for working people. The tough choices that we made last week, they are not done. We must use the process of getting to 3% of our national income spent on defence to fundamentally rebuild British industry.
My question is, again, I have a question. I always was the one with uncomfortable questions. You know me. You know me by this point. I have a question. Why didn't you ramp up this, I don't know, maybe, well, like 2 or 3 months into your own mandate? Why? Why now? Why is this happening exactly now? Why wasn't it last year? I don't know, maybe October or September. I don't know, man. It's things that I find so interesting. I find so interesting the timing of all
our
this.
Investment in military spending to create new jobs and apprenticeships in every part of the country.
But why do all the yeah? It's like he's speaking to zombies or something. Yeah. What is this? So eerie. Yeah. Are they stoned or something?
And that's why last night I announced a deal that perfectly symbolises the new era. A partnership with Ukraine that allows them to use £1.6 billion of UK export finance to buy 5,000 air defence missiles manufactured in Belfast. Mr. Speaker, that means UK jobs, UK skills, UK finance pulling together for our national interests, putting Ukraine in the strongest possible position.
What a second. You're a manufacturer. You're going to manufacture. Let me get this straight, because I don't understand. I will go full Columbo on this one. So you remember Columbo, right? Columbo made all these silly questions because I'm sorry, pal. I'm not understanding here. I'm not understanding. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not understanding. What are they? You're saying that Ukraine, you're going to build 5,000 missiles for Ukraine, right? And that is going to generate new jobs, and well, that is fine, all right. And they say that Ukraine. Let me go back.
That's why last night I announced a deal that perfectly symbolises the new era. A partnership with Ukraine that allows them to use £1.6 billion of UK export finance.
Okay, Ukraine is gonna use 1.6 billion pounds of UK's money. And how are they going to use that money? Manufacturing missiles for Ukraine. So it's essentially that, yeah, it's the UK is putting the money, is paying for those missiles to send to Ukraine. All right. So, again, my question is, I just have another question because I don't get it. Why didn't they do this before? Why all this European rally? They didn't do this before? oh yeah, Europe has been doing this over and over and over and over, and that's what. Well, wait, that is another topic that Zelensky was hell bent on hammering at the Oval Office, that Europe has been, matching whatever the United States have been given. It was this like this. It was a bit uncomfortable. I did not mention that in my analysis, but let's say that if you are at the White House and if you are with the hosts that are going to help you, your people not get killed, then you don't begin praising Europe as in there's some kind of competition in here. Who has the bigger check, if you know what I mean, right? Who has the bigger check here? Europe or the United States? And you saw that Zelensky, on that 50 minutes, he said that like 3 times. Oh, Europe, thanks Europe. They gave him so much money. He even joked with Donald Trump about that. So that's what I'm telling you. That, yeah, it was a setup. That it was planned from the start. Zelensky was not going to sign anything. He was sent to either one of 2 things. Either to make Donald Trump accept something in front of the cameras, a thing that Trump was never going to do, or make it seem, be arrogant, trigger them in some way that they do something. And again, Zelensky ended up looking like an asshole. It's that simple. You can say whatever you want. Zelensky ended up looking like an asshole. We could move forward on this and keep checking other. Oh my God, this is another topic that we need to add some levity. You know that Trump was adding some levity at that meeting. I need to mention this. Something that I tweeted. At least Zelensky has the support of the British Muslim community. That's a good thing, right? But this is a gesture we know. He's got the support of the British Muslim community. We see it in full display here, but to be fair, I need to be fair with King Charles. Queen Elizabeth II had to welcome Hugo Chavez, who tried to give her a hug, no less. All right? So I really can't complain about Charles doing his job. All right, so I cannot complain about this. Okay, this is a normal thing. As many people, well, I'm not gonna do the observation that many people were saying, but I'm just gonna do this so you can you know what is the observation that so many people have been doing. And well, my God. No, again, this is something normal, right? It's like if Queen Elizabeth would have done exactly the same. It's something normal. Again, if she received Hugo Chavez, I cannot blame Charlie for receiving anybody. What else do we have here? Okay. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaffer questions how Ukraine can sign a U.S. mineral deal after signing a UK mineral deal. On January 17th, Starmer and Zelensky signed a 100-year partnership for closer cooperation between their 2 countries on everything from defense and security to energy and infrastructure. So Zelensky had already promised the rare earth stuff to the UK before going into the White House, more than 1 month before. That agreement included a mineral clause which proposed a joint working group to maximize the benefits from Ukraine's natural resources and support the development of a Ukrainian critical minerals strategy. So what's going on here? How can Ukraine commit to a mineral deal with the US and the UK? And by the way, my question is, what is the UK going to do with those minerals? If we need to be very clear right now about this. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're into AI, if you are into chips, if you are into the new tech, all that, Europe is where all that goes to die. Europe is not going to do anything with that. The UK is not going to do anything with that. It's that simple. You need somebody, you need a country that can really literally exploit those resources in terms of AI chips. So you need a country with the infrastructure. And, well, let's say that the UK and the EU, they've got way too much red tape. They got way too many migrants to feed to be worried. How can we build AI chips? And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to pop up on my comments or my X saying, oh, Jesus, you're so ignorant. The UK is blah, 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 blah. My question still stands. What is the UK going to do with that? The UK, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go back to this. The UK is so happy with being, let's say, a welcoming place for extremists, right? That they are celebrating the holy month, and King Charles, being the Princess of Wales for so long, he did not say anything about Saint David, which is the patron of Wales. Jenny, please correct me if I'm wrong. Did King Charles say anything about Saint David? Is the patron saint of Wales? He being the Prince of Wales for ages? So that's what's really going on in the UK. That's what's really going on in the UK. So, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna sign this agreement with the UK. We're gonna look for what is this text of this agreement. UK, yeah, Jenny, thank you. Correct. He didn't. King Charles was the Prince of Wales for what? Like how many decades? I don't know. It was like 50 years, something like that. I don't know. I really don't know. And he was all this with Ramadan and the lights of Ramadan in London, and the packing of the dates for Ramadan, but not a word for the actual traditions of the UK. I don't know. Well, William did in Wales. Charles packed dates to celebrate Ramadan. That is the current state of the UK. I'm not gonna talk about King Charles right now because then the Royal Rogue is gonna. The Royal Rogue is holding my neck right now. I'm not gonna talk about King Charles. You can rest assured. Okay, buddy. Not gonna talk about King Charles. Okay, I know your stuff. I know that's your stuff. I know that you don't want me to talk about King Charles. Traitor. Oh, fuck. UK-Ukraine 100-year partnership declaration. What the fuck? We will all be dead by the time that ends. Supporting development of a Ukrainian critical minerals strategy and necessary regulatory structures required to support the maximization of benefits from Ukraine's natural resources. How is the UK with so much red tape gonna do anything with that? Nothing. Through the possible establishment of a joint working group. So it's that what? No. This is all nonsense. What is this? Okay, Ukraine. Zelensky is hell-bent on America's sons and daughters died in Ukraine. Thank God for Trump and Vance. Well, he literally, you remember, he said that Putin is going to expand like COVID. And not gonna lie, Putin wants to expand like COVID. Like the guy is a megalomaniac. The guy is a supervillain. That's what he wants to do. But one thing is wanting, and another thing is being able to do so. One thing that most people have not realized is that Putin underestimated the first 3 months or the first 3 weeks of the war. And he essentially sent his best machinery, his best troops for that, make it easy. And if you know just a bit of story, you know that Ukrainians have suffered enough under the Soviet boot. So Ukrainians didn't really want to go through that again. So it's like the old adage of that the wolf runs to eat, but the rabbit runs to save its life. So in ways that some people have not understood, the best stuff of Putin's forces was decimated on those first months of war. Again, you can check your sources. I'm going to tell you what I believe happened. Again, I was not on the field. I'm still doing my research. And we know that all that takes money. And well, that Russia is also a very big country, and they have a lot of stuff to do besides, trying to maintain all the ordnance that they have, because it's not only created new technology, it's maintaining the old technology. You know that if you have military technology, you cannot just let it sit in a garage. It's only in the movies, that is Hollywood movies, that you have a plane like 50 years in a museum that you can all of a sudden fly the plane. It's just, that is nonsense. That never happens. So no, Putin might have, I want to extend, I want to go full Soviet Union again, but no, it simply doesn't have the resources to do so. It's gonna be crazy, all right? And the thing that we could think of is that he doesn't want to go in a blaze of glory with the nukes. That would render everything else but let's not talk about that. But right now, Zelensky really wants to. He met with the warmongers, and they designated him as the fearmonger. You have to be the fearmonger. You have to tell everybody that Putin is a threat. All right. Everybody knows that already, but Putin has been just focused on Ukraine so far, and it doesn't seem like he's got the resources to, lose a couple 100,000 more men on a battlefield. That is not good for morale, by the way. It's, in other words, something that I'm just here between you and me. Don't tell anybody. But you know the size of Russia, right? You know the size of Ukraine. And the fact that Ukraine has been able to withstand Russia's attacks, it has made Putin look very bad. And you could say, okay, the guy is a megalomaniac, the guy is a supervillain. The one can he go mad? He's mad, but this is proof that he cannot go any further. He cannot spend any more money on this. What is he going to do besides this? So again, I'm gonna be clear. I'm gonna be 100% clear with you. I'm punching, what is that expression? Punching above my weight class or something like that, right? I'm punching above my weight class. I'm step by step trying to make sense of all this, but you're not gonna tell me this, that you got Russia that is so big and Ukraine is like, I don't know, less than 1/4 of Russia, and Russia should have been able to just squash Ukraine, and they didn't for some reason, for so many years. Why? Well, one thing is drones. Well, the drone stuff is for real. The Ukraine drones are something. It's punching above my weight. Thank you, John Cartier. Thank you for that. But let's go back to the topic. I digress. Zelensky is hell-bent on America's sons and daughters dying in Ukraine. Thank God for Trump and Ben. So I'm going to generate the subtitles here so we can watch this with subtitles. Forgot to generate this the subtitles. But again, he could have a point. Oh yeah, Putin wants to rule the world. He doesn't have the means to. He doesn't have the means to restore the Soviet Union. If you have a different take on this, there's my email. You can reach out to me by email and, well, tell me what you think about that. But I don't think that Putin can do all that he wants to do. He cannot even win this war. And as time passes, I think that must have been one of the leverage, one of the arguments that maybe Trump talking to him. Vladimir, what are you doing? Vladimir, what are you doing? As in, you're getting your people killed. You've been dragging this for 3 years. You have embarrassed yourself. Let's sign this. Let's sign this. Right? Let's sign this and get, at least let's take a breather and let's see what we can do from here. But you're sending your people to the meat grinder, Vladimir Putin, and you're embarrassing yourself. You're literally embarrassing yourself. Again, I'm talking about the size of Russia. Besides, I can see the size of Ukraine. I am not saying that Zelensky is a hero, all right? Because Trump himself made sure to, well, praise for 2 or 3 minutes Ukraine soldiers and officials and all the bravery and courage, and even Zelensky himself. Trump said that, so well, that is on point. Somebody did that. Somebody has held on to that for 3 years, but it's time to stop. It's time to let it go.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight. Because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Remember that this was, I think this was not recent, but regardless of when was this video taken, it echoes what he said in the Oval Office in front of Trump. I don't know how Trump didn't just slap him in the face because of that. Why would you be talking about American soldiers? Why would you be talking about American soldiers? You have nothing to say about American soldiers. Have nothing to do talking about them. Carly Bond, this is an interview with Zelensky before meeting with Trump. Does he sound like somebody that wants a deal? Again, I cannot confirm if this is actually an interview before meeting with Trump. At least on that day, because remember that in the morning he was meeting with all these warmongers.
No, in this deal, you will not have very concrete steps of security guarantees, because we need to speak about it, not only with the United States, Europeans, etc. United States will not be enough. Even when we speak about the NATO, what we want. And I know that is so difficult.
So United States will not be enough. Europe will not be enough. You want to go to Latin America as well? You want to go to Latin America as well? I don't know.
And nobody really believe in it. But I will reserve this topic because I want to find NATO way or something similar.
Yeah, NATO way is World War III. NATO way is World War III. That's the only thing that I'm going to say.
I understand what does it mean something for us. And I know all the points what NATO is. And we are ready, to be flexible and to speak about it, what one or another country have to recommend or guarantee. That's why in this deal, there are only, basic things about that. Yes, security guarantees and etc. But I think it's not about it. Next steps have to be about it. Without future security guarantees, we will not have really just peace, and we will not have really ceasefire, what Trump spoken about. And if we don't...
Oh, right. Yeah, that has... this was 100% recent. Yeah, this guy didn't want to. This was premonitory.
Don't have it, nothing will work. So we will have nothing. Nothing will work, and I know it.
Nothing will work. So he was already, he knew what he was going to do. He needed to I wouldn't say embarrass, but he had to nuke whatever was going to be signed that day.
That's why that's why I said that, okay, I'm ready for, basic thing, and we are strategic partners and a lot of things. But I want just to understand what will be tomorrow with us, with our families, just to understand. And where are you? So we don't need only, only deals about money, because we are now surviving. That's why my first question is, will America stop military aid? Or not. Now, not any actions in freezing, and I'm very thankful to the President Trump and to Congress, bipartisan support, and to the people now. But you understand that tomorrow we will not finish the war because it's Putin.
Yeah, this was right before signing. This was 100% before signing or going to the Oval Office. Going to the White House to sign, quote unquote.
Yes.
What does this trip to Washington mean to you, given that you would be the first to visit President Trump over Putin, who the president plans to meet with? What does that mean to Ukraine that you?
All right. So, well, this is the current state of affairs. Let me see which other clip do we have in here. Just highlight the chat for a minute. The thing I'm gonna mention this right away to make things a bit even more complicated. Putin offered the United States the rate after all this tits up. Putin offers U.S. rare minerals. We have far more than Ukraine. You want rare minerals for your chips and your stuff? We have all of them. All of them. I'm gonna generate the.
Мы, кстати говоря, готовы были бы предложить и американским нашим партнерам, когда я партнеры говорю, имею в виду только административные, правительственные структуры, ну и компании, если бы они проявили интерес к совместной работе. У нас, безусловно, порядок, я хочу это подчеркнуть.
You know that you have to trust Putin like 10% what he says, right? You know that he has to. Yeah, this is the thing that people sometimes confuse the fact, Putin is great, he's a strong leader. All right, maybe you can be a strong leader, but you don't have to be a megalomaniac or a modern day villain. That doesn't, one thing doesn't have to do with the other. So yeah, you have to take everything that he says with a grain of salt. And yeah, that is the way to negotiate with this kind of people. You have to try to be not naive.
На порядок больше ресурсов подобного рода, чем в Украине.
This is another cock measuring contest. We have we have the largest deposits of rare earth minerals in Ukraine.
Россия является одним из безусловных лидеров по запасам этих редких и редкоземельных металлов. Они у нас имеются и на севере, в Мурманске, на Кавказе, в Кабардино-Балкарии, на Дальнем Востоке, в Иркутской области, в Якутии, в Тыве.
Are you sure that China hasn't, signed anything with you already? Because I could say that I'm Putin. I could say I have all these reserves of rare earth metals, but don't you tell me that China hasn't already negotiated with Putin for all that? China needs the AI, and it needs to win the AI race. It needs the chips.
Достаточно капиталоемкие инвестиции, проекты капиталоемкие. Мы с удовольствием работали бы совместно с любыми иностранными партнерами, в том числе с американскими. Да, кстати говоря, что касается новых территорий, то же самое. Мы готовы привлечь иностранных партнеров и так называемые новые наши исторические территории, которые вернули в состав Российской Федерации. Там тоже есть запасы определенные. Мы готовы с нашими партнерами, в том числе с американскими.
I mean, I'm going to say something that is not a secret to anybody. I mean, this geopolitics stuff, all that stuff that have been happening for, let's say, the past 200 years, is quite complicated. This is the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg in terms of what is going on. What we do know is that we can analyze the at least the encounters to see if people are being being really truthful or genuine. That's something that we can do. And I have realized that for all the things that we could read in books, but one book could be any book, anything that you read can be propaganda. That is a fact. You read a book, you read a blog post, you watch a video, it can be propaganda. So we can have a flawed reasoning based on flawed sources. That's one thing. But that's what I like from body language and statement analysis, because when people speak and we know what they say and how they interact, we can have a better idea of what is really going on, because we are seeing it with our own eyes. So I think that is something that we really need to address from the beginning. Let me see your super chats. Diane Britson, what about UK already signed a deal with Zelensky? We don't understand, 100-year deal, Diane, and thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Heather, whatever, thank you for this important discussion. It is important. It is really concerning of all the implications, and it's moving so fast that I'm sure that while I've been doing this live, I'm pretty sure that things have been happening. So I will try to catch up. Ricky Lee, thank you for the super sticker, smiling face with Halo. Thank you, Ricky. Heather, whatever, Zelensky was going for the poverty. Please help me look. Agreed. Maria Elena Rojo, Zelensky wants to have peace but not sign a peace treaty. I believe he wants more money given to him on a silver platter as before. Yes, and not only him. It's like all this military complex wants the proxy war running. Man Samsung, the US is not close to World War III. Trump will not intervene. I'm looking forward to watching Netflix in Europe. Oh my God, that is not gonna. That would be good for anybody. Man Samsung. We hope that this doesn't escalate, because nobody's gonna get something good out of this. Castro dressed down on purpose. It's Heather whatever. Yeah, he did. Absolutely. And Angela Doe, and Angela, be careful, please. Here in the UK and all of us watching are so thankful. Are you doing, Jesus, great work? I'm trying to do my best, Angela. It is a bit hard because there's a lot to catch up. Geopolitics is not my strength. My strength is analyzing people. And right now, what I've done so far, I think that the video that I made was is kind of the analysis, the close to 2-hour analysis, something that reminded me that if I can do something for the world, in this case is, well, give the world my insights. And my insights, I try to make them as fair as possible. You saw that I didn't jump to conclusions to the last part. I wanted to really pay attention to Zelensky's body language. What was his agenda? Giving him a chance, the first 20 or 30 minutes until, well, we saw that so many times it repeated, so many times it was over and over again that he really was not willing to cooperate, was not willing to sign anything at all during that encounter. So that is the current state of affairs. Most probably has changed while we are here. So I will be doing, by the way, that analysis, the long analysis of Keir Starmer. I want to see how can I play with these shows. For those of you who want me on the Roger Rogue, you remember that we also have, I know that it's a different thing, but if I don't mention the Rogue is going to be mad at me. Megan has her show tomorrow. The Roger Rogue is going to be covering her as well. But right now, I will do the Keir Starmer analysis. I might take maybe 1 or 2 days because I will do it simultaneously with this show. But what I'm really thankful is make sure that you reach out to me with the stuff that you want to see covered on my show. I realized that I asked the question yesterday on my X if you wanted to see me talking about the Oscars, and 66% of you, it was very relevant, didn't want anything to do with celebrities. I mean, so many things happening in the world, so important, relevant things. This is the top of the top of what is happening in the world. I guess that this is what you want to watch. And I'm willing. The numbers of my analysis confirm that this is what you want to watch. And I'm willing to give it all to you. And, well, from now on, because that's what I'm here for, and I'm here for it. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet tomorrow in episode 91, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.